Oh, holy shit. Did I just almost witness like a bizarro Will Smith, Chris Rock moment up here? What the fuck was that? I wanted to know where that was going to go, for crying out loud. Hey, how are we doing? I know Smoke Dog said he asked you that, but I want to see, are we still doing okay? All right, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, these were a conscious decision. I went online, I saw them, and I said, "Stop drilling. You've hit oil. I'll buy them." Actually, these pants, brand new, when they came out with them, were $120, and I'm like, "I'm gonna fucking wait you out." And then 2 months later, I get an email. It's like, "Do you want to buy these pants for $15?" And I'm like, "Of course I do." Oh man, we're talking about hometowns. We had Tennessee, we had Wapaka. I win. I'm from Manitowoc, so until those guys get not one but two murder documentaries on Netflix. I've not only have I been to the Avery Salvage Yard. I met Stephen Avery pre-first prison. Which is pre-second prison. I met him a bunch of times, but we would go there all the time, and I would high five him. I almost called him Uncle Steve, and that would have been an awkward way to get into that documentary, I'll tell you that. Oh, I'm glad to be in a place that has records on the wall. This is actually the Jay Giles band I see right here, Survivor, Rick Springfield. The last place I did a comedy show, I walked in. There was a flyer on the door. This was a Saturday night, and it said, "Sunday, gun raffle, 2 p.m. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. I'm totally cool with that. And then I walked in, and all the 40 guns were hanging from the ceiling with fishing line. And I took my set, and I just crumpled it up and went to the bathroom and flushed it down the toilet, because I'm like, I'm not going to do any like pride jokes or anything like that at this one. I mean, I don't like to do politics when I'm on stage. I mean, I'll do it, I just don't like it. I mean, I have a red hat with white lettering on it, if that means anything to you, if you've ever seen those hats. I have it right here. Yeah. It says hot dogs are sandwiches. And this hat angers everybody, because you either think it says something and you're excited to see it, and then you see it says hot dogs are sandwiches and you get pissed because it didn't say the thing you said it did, or you're looking at it and saying red hat, white lettering, I'm angry, and then you come up to it and see it and you're like, oh, he's just an asshole. Or you come up to it and read it and it says hot dogs are sandwiches and you get pissed off because I think hot dogs are sandwiches. But it's a lot better than the shirt I have that says cereal is soup. So, So in case any of you are wondering what I do for a job, I'm a before model. You see the before and then the after. No, I'm just kidding. I applied for that. I never got a call back for that. I'm actually a public high school special education teacher, which is... It's challenging. Sometimes people clap when I say that. I don't expect you to do that. I'm not asking for it because I have seen, I read the comment sections of like online newspapers when there's like a referendum or a snow day and people get fucking pissed at us because it's like, oh, 2 inches of snow, you're not going to work today? I don't read them in the summer because I'm not working. Yeah, fuck all of you. But it is a challenging job. It's a rewarding job. How rewarding is it? This week, when I was administering the ACT and repeatedly thinking about crashing my own skull in with the back end of a claw hammer. Because anyone here ever administered the ACT? You haven't. Because when you do that, you can't do anything. You can't. It's all online and it's on an app, so I can't like go online and like search for things or go on Amazon, or I can't like work. I can't get paperwork done. I can't read. They don't even let you doodle. You can't. You just sit there and you look at the fucking future of America, and you get depressed because you can monitor them and see how they're doing on there. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, in all the years that I've been a teacher here, which has been over 25 years that I've been a teacher and coach at this school, I've had so many stories I can tell that you can imagine. And one story always comes to the forefront. And keep in mind, I work at a school that's had a shooting. Ended up being an officer-involved shooting that I was 50 feet away from when it happened. And if you look at the security footage of the cameras, you can just see me pushing students out of the way. Like, get out! I've seen your transcripts. I have more to live for. Which is really weird because the security cameras don't have audio. It's still like the thought bubble that comes over my head when that happened. And like the shooting was like the 5th on my list. So, and for all the stories that I have, but the story that always comes back to me is, and this was in 2018, and I was my golf season just got done. I coach golf. If you can't tell, I coach golf. Coach girls golf, which is even better because, you know, you just try to make Brindley make that putt for a 10, you know. Way to go. And the season got done, and I'm in school, and it's before first hour, and I'm like walking past one of the many windows that we have, and I look outside, and there are like 25 people holding signs and moving in a circle. And I'm like, shit, were we striking today? And I fucking forgot about it? Because like I would put like different pants on if we're gonna go outside and strike. But we're protesters. We had protesters outside of school. And like, again, I teach at a public high school, and my first thought was, I'm not wearing enough deodorant for this argument right now. And because of the population I deal with, and like I'm dodging staplers and chairs all the time, I have a radio, so I can talk to people. And I get on the radio and I talk to administration and a couple of teachers. I go outside and there's these protesters. And again, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a chilly October morning. And I'm gonna go out and talk to these people. And before I even say a word, this guy comes up to me and says, listen, we know our rights. We can be here because the school day has not started yet. All right, and we're on the sidewalk, so everything is okay. We are protected by the Constitution and our First Amendment rights, so you can't say anything to us at this point. So obviously, like, this guy has some sort of intelligence that he knows his rights, but like the kind of intelligence where you would hand him a Sudoku and he'd be like, what the fuck is this? I don't get it. Why was it 7? Why is there a 7 there? And they have signs that have like, you know, like homophobic slurs, and it says slut and whores and things like that. So it's like not quite Westboro Baptist, but they're getting there, right? And so we get out there, and the pants I'm wearing that day, this is important, the pants I'm wearing that day are seagulls, like the Pixar, mine, those are the pants I'm wearing. So I'm about to say something again, and he's like, so don't even say anything to us, because we have until 8:12 when your first hour starts. So you and your friends and your faggoty little pants can get out of here. And I said, listen, 3 things. 1, those are kids coming off the bus. Don't call them whores. Don't call them sluts. They're 16 years old, all right? Leave them alone. Second, we have something new this year called a 0 hour, where kids can come in before school and get some classes in. So there's actually classes going on right now. So I've already radioed the police, and they're on their way to get your ass. And number 3, I have way more faggoty pants than these that I'm wearing right now. So if you come back tomorrow, be prepared for Mr. Hello Kitty teacher to fucking kick your teeth in at this point. Another thing that's unique about the high school I teach at, we are one of the last high schools in the state that offers driver's education as part of the curriculum. Woo! Yes, because everything outside, they get, you know, the private school or the private companies that teach driver's ed, we're one of the last few. So we have a designated driver's ed teacher who is licensed by the state, by the Department of Transportation, right? He splits his time between one school and another school. But one thing I didn't know 10 years ago is there legally needs to be a substitute teacher in the school that's also certified in case that teacher is gone, that they can come in there and teach that class. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll sign up for it. Benefits from that, you get $1,000 each semester no matter what you do. You don't even have to sub for it. And the teacher we had was like the Brett Favre of driver's ed teachers, right? He never missed a day, right? I mean it in that way, not like he stole money from the state and showed his penis to people. He was the Iron Man of yeah. So he missed one day because the baseball team where he was a coach made it to like sectionals or something. So I never had to do anything, and I got like $1,000 to pay for my golf during the summer when I don't fucking work, right? So anyway, he retires, and a new teacher comes in. And they're absent a lot, even for a teacher. They're like not there. So I have to like substitute for these classes because I'm certified now. And I'm like, usually it's just like they show a video where it's like, don't cross the railroad tracks when the arms are down, which seems like common knowledge, but we've seen your transcripts. You're fucking idiots. We need to tell you this kind of stuff. Or a video from like VHS tape from like 1983 that's like, the do's and don'ts of drunken driving. You know, so I get in there and I'm thinking, I need to teach these kids about some of the unwritten rules of the road, right? Things they're not going to hear. Like, if you're ever caught behind a Buick, you're going to be driving 3 miles an hour slower than you've ever driven in your life, right? That's number one. Two, despite the high sticker price, BMWs, for some reason, do not come with directional signals. Like, and they're gonna like just go to a roundabout and gun it and say, good luck everybody else, fuck you. Number three, if you're on a 2-lane highway, you're gonna be stuck behind a semi going 60 miles an hour, being passed by a semi going 60.2 miles an hour. And you're just gonna be stuck behind them the entire time. And the number one thing I want to tell them is like, you're gonna meet a lot of people in the world that are just terrible, awful people that you're gonna hate. But there are no more awful people in the world than people that take their, who's gonna come up right now? I'm just gonna get my drink because I need to do that right now. I hate to admit this right now, that's my fucking Uber driver. I'm on this Shit. Anyway, but there are no worse people in the world than people that take their stickers that they get for their registration each year and make a rainbow of it around their license plate. Does anybody know those people? I have yet to meet a worse human being in the world, like seeing anything. There's nothing worse than those people.
Okay.
He's going, it's all right. He's got a...
Okay. The green is... Okay.
God, I hope that is still recording right now. It is good, awesome. This is gonna go great for the Sacramento Comedy Festival. Anyway. So in about, what is it, the 11th today? In under 5 months, I am going to be getting married, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You can clap. It really adds nothing to this, but in less than 5 months, I'm going to be getting married, and there's nothing that can prepare you time-wise or financially for what that's going to be. It's gonna financially ruin me. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. So that tripod over there, if you have any like loose change or anything, you just want to throw it there on the way there. That'll be fine. But I'm gonna be getting married, and again, I'm a huge sports fan, right? I coach sports. I love going to games. I love tailgating. I do sports on the radio. I'm a public address announcer for a couple of teams. I watch sports. And with like live streaming now, you can watch anything. Like we could go on there right now and we could put on like a Division III women's hockey game and I'd be like, fuck it, let's fucking watch it. That's gonna be great. The announcer is gonna be some 19-year-old sophomore who like you're gonna try to find on Twitter and be like, change your major, dude. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're like 5 seconds behind on everything and you don't even know the names of the people on your own team. You're stalking one of the girls on your own team. You don't even know what number she is on this team. And it's because of my love of sports and watching sports and me getting married that I want to talk to you all about The Bachelor. Because that's what I watch now. Because I'm getting married in 5 months. Anybody here watch The Bachelor? Yeah. That's exactly why. So there's a season of The Bachelor going on right now, and we watch The Bachelor, and then when The Bachelor's not on, and we're waiting for the next week of The Bachelor, we're watching season 12 of The Bachelorette. Which, if you didn't know, that's the one where Aaron Rodgers' brother is on, Jordan Rodgers. He ends up winning it. Spoiler alert, I did that in the wrong order. I'm sorry if you didn't watch it. So that's all we're doing at this point. And it's because of love, because it's a shitty show, but it's because of love that I'm watching this. And a couple weeks ago, we're watching The Bachelor, and my fiance has a 9-year-old daughter, and she had a sleepover. One of her friends was sleeping over. And I'm not going to use names, because they're kids, right? I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to call them 5,000 Question Girl and Velociraptor. Those are their two names of the kids, right? So we're watching The Bachelor, and in the other room, 5,000 Question Girl and Velociraptor are just screaming at the top of their lungs and inquiring about things that we don't have answers to. And if you ever seen The Bachelor, you're not watching it now, have you ever seen it? Yes. Okay, so basically, here's The Bachelor. 6'4", square-jawed, scruffy-haired, side-shaved, more on top, washboard abs guy. It's the same guy every year. He just has a different 4-letter first name. This year it's Zach. He dates 25 girls at the same time, and every week he snipers off 2 of them to wherever they're going to go, and he ends up finding love at the end. And I didn't know that you could date 25 girls at the same time, because if I knew that's what women really wanted, I probably would have been married at like 25, but apparently this is a new concept. And the show starts off every week with like a 10-minute recap of what's happening last week, and then it gets into the show. And it's every 2 minutes. We're sitting there, whether we're on the couch or we're in bed, every 2 minutes it's just me asking, why is that woman crying? Well, she's crying because she doesn't feel validated because she was on a group date last week and she didn't get the rose. Okay, I know what those words mean, but I don't know what they mean in that sentence. Just move on. Okay. Why is that woman crying? Well, she's crying because she was on a one-on-one date and she said something and Zach might have interpreted it the wrong way, so she's okay, I don't give a shit anymore, let's move on to the next one. All right, why is that woman crying? Well, that woman's crying because the first woman that was crying said something about the second woman that was crying, and now she's crying because they think they're fighting. Well, that makes sense. I could see with that if you're having 25 women living in the same house fighting over the same guy. Well, why is that woman crying? Well, she's just crying because she's a bitch. Oh, well, that I understand. That's an easy one right there. So then you get going, and then I hate to do it, but subconsciously we'll be sitting there, and my fiance loves this show. She loves watching it. But every now and then I'll be watching and I'll just go, that stops everything right there, right? What? What is your problem now? Well, he just said that he and his relationship with Brindley, with 4 Ys, they're like 2 comets in outer space colliding and creating a star. And I don't expect Zach to be a fucking, astrophysicist, but that's not how fucking stars are made, honey. You need dust and gases, and then you need a lot of force, and that collapses, and that's what she's like, oh, whatever, you know what he meant. There's just, everything's bright with them and their futures. I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. Well, now what? Well, she just is gonna go on a one-on-one date with Zach, and her exact phrase was, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. This is the most terrifying thing a human being can do. And I just picture some combat veterans watching this show going, yeah, sister, I can tell you that right now. That's gotta be pretty fucking scary to go to the bathhouses in Budapest, Hungary with Zach. And I would shit my pants too if I was you, dear. So it gets quiet, and then she asks me a question. Which one of the 20 girls left do you think are the prettiest? And I did not skip a beat. I said, honey, I have a college degree. I got like a 31 on my ACT. I know not to answer that question. I'm not gonna, I don't want to start a fight right now, so I'm not gonna pick any of them. They're all between the age of 23 and 27 and have no emotional intelligence whatsoever. and they spell their name with too many Y's and G's and H's, no, I'm not going to do it. Fine. I'm just saying, if you were in a room and the 20 women walked in, which one would catch your eye first? I'm like, if you just want to go and like hit me in the back of the head with a shovel, like this would be like, that would be a lot easier than me answering this question. I'm not going to do it. Like that would be a better end game for me. And then again, just silence and we're watching. And I just thought about it and I'm like, she's going to be, like you could taste the anger and the tension at that point, and I'm like, all right, should I just answer and like get it over with, or should I just let it go and it's just going to be angry? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to flip a coin in my head. All right, I'm going to answer. All right, that one. And the covers flew off and she got out of bed, and as she was walking out, she said, I knew you would pick her! I knew it would be her! And the door slammed shut. And I'm just sitting there like, you flipped the coin wrong again, asshole. And it took about 30 seconds, and then the door opened, and in walked 5,000 question girl Velociraptor. And they looked at me and they said, what did you do? And I said the only thing I could at that point. I pointed at the door and I said, why is that woman crying? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. Thank you very much. You've been a great audience.
One more time for Nick, guys. Hell yeah. Awesome show, huh? Good stuff.